Texas Tech plays Michigan Wolverines in Sweet 16 tonight. How far can they fare in this year's March Madness tournament? Is Ronaldo's injury going to cost Juventus the Champions League trophy? This summer, which player's signing could break the transfer market record? Find out next. MCTV Sports 101 starts now. Hey there, sports fan. Welcome to MCTV Sports 101. I'm Aditya Sahasrabudhe.
And I'm Austin C. A poor run continues for Portugal and Argentina soccer teams. What is it that makes these two national teams with the two best players in the world unworthy of winning handsomely? AD?
Well, there are so many variables which we can talk about. We can talk about their abysmal previous record, which is, for example, Portugal. They did not win in the last two matches with Ronaldo. And the same goes for Messi. Messi played in their second last match and they could not win. In a match where he played, they could not win, and when he did not play, they won it. But the thing which we need to ponder is Argentina only had 6 shots on target in both those games. And for Portugal, they had 46 overall shots. So there is, that evident difference. Portugal is unable to convert those chances, and Argentina are unable to create those chances.
Right.
So those are a few of the things. And apart from lack of motivation, and obviously different scheme of settings, because club football is entirely different from international football.
Oh yes.
So there is that difference in the scheme of settings. But the most important thing which I want to talk about is the team chemistry. When you are playing for the club, you play twice or thrice a week, so you are tuned in. Yeah. You gel well with the players.
Oh yeah.
When you play in an international setting, it's completely different.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's that lack of bonhomie, that lack of team chemistry. Players seem to be tuned out. They're not in sync. And the most important thing for strikers and offensive players is you need to feed them good deliveries. If they have those good chances, if your midfield and the entire squad provides them good balls, only then they can convert.
Oh yes.
So the same thing goes for every international squad. No one is doing great. You ask me that why are they unable to win handsomely? The reason is adjusted scheme of settings, lack of team chemistry, and obviously a little bit of fatigue.
Yeah. Well, let me throw you some stats about mainly with Argentina and Messi. So with him, they played 6 games, won 5, didn't tie, didn't draw, and they lost 1. Without him, played 7 games, won only 1 game. Now, beat it, they didn't lose the remainder of the games. They only lost 2, but they still tied 4. So both teams have opportunities to score and win games. It's just, but you are correct, it's the team chemistry. You have to have your midfielders connecting to your strikers. And if that's not there, the goals just aren't there for you.
And how are you going to score? How are you going to win if you're not going to score?
No.
And the same thing goes for your defensive line. When can you win? If you outscore the opponent. Now for the national teams like Argentina and Portugal, they are unable to score. And also defensively, they are not working well. They are conceding a lot of goals, so there's no chance of winning handsomely.
Oh yeah, I have to agree.
Time for some collegiate basketball stories. After impressive wins over Northern Kentucky and Buffalo in rounds 1 and 2, how far do you think Tech can go in this March Madness tournament? Austin?
Well, I really hope they do go far, because in my bracket, I got them winning the championship. A wink. But for this game against Michigan, this is scheduled for the 8:30 time slot later today. Go Tech. Let me give you some stats. So right now, both teams are over 70 points per game. Tech at 73, Michigan at 70. I think it's at field goal percentages, Tech is also winning at 47%, while Michigan is at 45. And then points allowed, like points against, or points they let the other team allow. Tech has allowed about 57 points per game, roughly, and Michigan only allowing 52. So what it's for this game, and when it comes into the later series of March Madness, it's basically flip of the coin.
That's right.
So because both teams, you're starting to get into where both teams are either the top 1 or top 1 through 5 of their seeds. So it's going to be really close. What's your take on it?
But the great thing about Texas Tech right now is they have that momentum. Buffalo is ranked number 6th in the terms of scoring, and they only allowed Buffalo to score 58 points.
Yeah.
So that's a big take.
Yeah.
They're good offensively and defensively. I believe that they are greater defensively because they only have one go-to striker, one go-to scorer in the likes of Jared Culver.
Oh, yeah.
But defensively, they are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So that is one big factor which is going to play a role in today's.
Well, you bring up defense. I mean, Tech has been stated throughout the season as being one of the top 5 defensive teams in the nation. And you also bring up Jared Culver, probably one of their better players. 18 points per game, 48 field goal percentages, and a 69 free throw percentage.
But the only thing I'm concerned about is Jared Culver needs to score 20-plus points if they have to win against the Wolverines.
Yeah.
If they don't do it, it's going to be a little bit shaky for Texas State.
It will be a close one, but let's cross our fingers and hope they make it. With both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich having tough times, is a squad revamp imminent?
Oh, yeah. Bayern Munich is an old squad. They're aging. Real Madrid is facing a completely different concern. They are without Ronaldo for the first time in the last 10 years. No one has been able to fill Ronaldo's shoes. Vinicius Jr. did a great job of trying his best, and he has been phenomenal. But you cannot compare an 18-year-old with one of the best players in the world. So obviously, Real Madrid needs not just one player to fill Ronaldo's shoes.
They need multiple.
They need multiple players, maybe in the likes of Eden Hazard or Kylian Mbappe or maybe even Neymar. So Real Madrid need to regroup. And one most important thing, everyone thought that after Ronaldo left, Gareth Bale was to be his successor. But forget about filling his shoes. He has not even been able to be in the starting 11. So that is a bit of a concern. If I talk about Bayern Munich, they have great players in the like of Ribéry, Robben, but they are aging and they are going to retire by the end of this season or maybe in the next few seasons. Lewandowski is working great, but he's the only striker. He's the lone striker with Bayern Munich. Müller is out of the German team. He's not featuring in the starting 11. So they have a lot of concerns, and I do believe that a revamp is imminent for both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich.
I do have to agree with you. I think is it Bale?
Bayern Munich.
Or Bayern Munich, I'm sorry. Again, not good with names.
It's okay, it's perfectly fine.
As we saw a couple weeks ago. But who is it? I think is it Bale? Who is it with that main Real Madrid is either trying to get rid of or it's not working out with?
It's not working out with Bale. The fans do not like him, and so is the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different scheme of settings again. Bale is an Englishman. He usually sleeps at 11.
Yeah.
And Spanish players have their dinner at about 11 or past 11.
Yeah.
So obviously it's completely two different scenarios. Bale is an Englishman. He doesn't want to gel. He's an introvert, so he doesn't want to mingle extrovertly. So that is a bit of a problem.
Yeah. So we will not get into that trade later on in the show.
In Portugal's latest match against Serbia, Ronaldo picks a hamstring injury. How fatal is that injury going to prove for Juventus? Could it cost them the Champions League title? Austin, what are your thoughts?
Now, this injury happened about, what, 2 days?
2 days back.
2 days, 3 days back. Probably lower hamstring injury. Now, according to him, and I'm going to quote here, he says, "I know my body. I'll be back in a week or two," which sounds awesome for Juventus.
He is an epitome of confidence. He exudes confidence. He's so high on self-efficacy. I mean, which player in the world can claim that he's going to be back in 1 or 2 weeks?
Certainly no player that I've ever.
And Ronaldo is probably the only player who has had least amount of injuries.
Yes. Now, what I want to point out, so this is his first season with Juventus, and he's played 26 out of their 28 games. In Serie A. So in the 2 games he did not play, they only lost 1.
They only lost 1. But the thing is, they lost their winning streak. They were
that is true.
Undefeated in Serie A, but when Ronaldo did not feature in one of the 2 games, they lost it. And now they are no more invincibles.
Well, yes, that is true. So they did lose out a chance on that. But if you look at it from a stat standpoint, how are they going to fare in the next 2, maybe 3 games
in which he's going to be out?
Yeah. You really want him back for Ajax. You want him back for Ajax because that is the quarterfinal.
On April 10th.
Yeah, on April 10th.
That's the quarterfinal match, the first leg.
You want him back for that. So for the next 2, 3 games maybe, I think they're going to be completely fine, if I'm being honest. But that's judging from the 2 games he has not been in because he is a heck of a player. So, but I think they're going to be fine and it's not going to cost them the trophy at all. With soccer clubs expecting to make big money splashes this summer, let's have a look at the potential transfers. World Cup winner
Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe, thank you again, seems to be the hot favorite pick. AD, do you think he'll go to Real Madrid?
Oh yes, Real Madrid should be willing to shell out at least $500 million, if not more, because they need to fill Ronaldo's shoes, and those are the biggest shoes in the world to fill, because he contributed 50 goals per season, and no other player except Messi has been able to do it.
Right.
So obviously, just a single player cannot do that job. You need
Right.
multiplayer in the likes of maybe Mbappe, who is the hot favorite. I mean, he is one of those kids who can potentially fill Ronaldo's shoes. So I do say that yes, Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid.
I'm going to agree with you, but mainly because of of what we talked about earlier, the revamping of the team. I mean, as you said, Bale, Englishman, completely different culture, completely different schedule than, and is just doesn't get along with the team that well. So I think they're going to get rid of him and then get Mbappe. Now, whether they do a trade, I don't think they'll do a trade Bale to Mbappe's current team. I think they'll give him off to somebody else, maybe Tottenham or somebody, but we'll see how that
But
goes.
you are saying that they are going to get rid of Bale. Is that what you're saying? Or they are going to keep Bale and add Mbappe?
That is going to be that's the $1 million question, if I'm being honest with you,
Okay.
because when it comes to football clubs, what it comes down to is what can they get for it? What is the best deal for them?
That's right.
And
So-
that's with any sport, not just soccer, but American football, baseball, even hockey.
I do agree with you. If they can get a great price for Bale, maybe a $100 million plus price, why not sell Bale? But I have a great question for you lined up.
All right,
How
let's
about Neymar? We have talked about Kylian Mbappe. How about Neymar? Do you think he's going to get traded to Real Madrid?
Ooh,
Or is it going to be both Neymar and Mbappe?
that would be a big play for Real Madrid. You said they may. You're thinking they may keep Bale, correct? Real Madrid is what you're thinking, or?
Well, I believe that they should get rid of Bale and have some
Okay.
different additions in the likes of Mbappe and some other players.
Yeah.
But what's your take?
So, if they do manage to get Mbappe, which we both agree that they should go for,
Absolutely.
if they are able to pull Neymar into this, oh my gosh, that might actually revamp the team to what it needs to be.
But do you think that Neymar, with the kind of personality he actually possesses, is he going to be a good fit for Real Madrid? Because he has played at Barcelona, so he has that kind of history with Messi and Suarez. So with all those dynamics and all that history considered, could it be a good fit at Real Madrid?
It could be a good fit. I think the one thing he's got to look at it is what are the fans going to think, obviously. So I think he's going to go to PSG, is where I think he's going to go.
He's actually at PSG right now.
Or I think he's going to stay at PSG.
He's gonna stay at
I think he's
PSG?
going to stay.
Cool.
Real Madrid is a good choice for him because that's obviously another major club. But
Not just a major club, my friend. That is one of the biggest clubs in the world, much bigger than PSG.
when you get into that Barcelona match, and people
El
find
Clasico
out,
match, yes,
and when
yes,
people find out he's on the team, oh, yeah, I feel sorry for Neymar if he does that, because we have seen that in the past, and it has not turned out well.
It hasn't turned out well.
So I think he's going to stay at PSG.
Okay.
What about you?
What about me? I think he should be looking for some other suitors, but definitely, Neymar, with the kind of personality he has, he doesn't fit well with Real Madrid.
I think we both agree on that. So, do you think he's going to stay at PSG, or do you think he's going to go somewhere else?
Maybe he's going to roam around and go somewhere else, but he's definitely not coming at Real Madrid.
Sounds like a good plan. Bale's future at Madrid doesn't look exactly bright. Should he rejoin with Tottenham or stay under Zidane's wings at Madrid? Did I say that right?
That was Zidane, but it's okay. It's
Zidane,
okay. It's okay. We learn from our mistakes. So
Yes.
the thing is, you ask about Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale is a fantastic player, but definitely he is not a person who can fill Ronaldo's shoes. He has always been in Ronaldo's shadows, and when Ronaldo wasn't there this season for Real Madrid, he had the chance to up the ante. He had the chance to fill Ronaldo's shoes, but he has been totally disastrous in doing that. Forget about, I've said this before, but I'll reiterate myself. Forget about filling Ronaldo's shoes. He has not even been able to feature in the starting 11. That is a concern. They have
That is a
a
major
great
concern.
squad in the likes of Asensio, Vasquez, Isco, and they have amazing players. Vinicius Junior, Benzema. So they have a great squad. They have great depth in their bench. And I believe that even if Real Madrid is one of the biggest clubs in the world, Bale should get away from Real Madrid and maybe go to Tottenham or Manchester United. I mean, there are so many suitors looking for Bale, so he can rejoin any other club. But yes, he should get away from Madrid. What's your take?
Well, I think he needs to get away from Real Madrid. I think that environment for him is just not for him, mainly cultural wise, as we've pointed out many times. I think he's going to go to Manchester United.
Manchester United?
Mainly because, and this is what I've heard, mainly because they think they can they not only could get cash for him, but they can also get a player for him as well. So essentially some type of trade deal or something to kind of help revamp.
Well, if you ask me to take a pick, I'd say that he should rejoin with Tottenham. And the reason is he has been there for a few years and he was greatly appreciated there. So why not to return to a club where you'll be appreciated for? So I believe that he's going to join Tottenham.
Oh, well, to be fair, I mean, it would be probably the best outcome for him is if he joins Tottenham. But you also have to look once again. I bring this back. You have to look at it from Real Madrid's, their organization, their standpoint. What is the best deal for them? And if Tottenham can't provide that deal, say how much money they want for him, they want to get,
I'd say at least $100 million.
So
because he's still 29 years of age, he's young, and he does the work. He provides you the goals. So why not go for $100 million? I won't say it's a bargain, but yes, considering it's Gareth Bale, one of the most expensive or one of the top 5 most expensive transfers. I mean, Tottenham should not have a problem in shelling out $100 million.
Yeah, that will be a big one.
Eden Hazard's move to big European club is imminent. Which team do you think he's going to join? Is he going to leave Chelsea or is he going to stay there?
Well, let me state this. His contract doesn't end until this next summer of 2020, so he does have some time. He's already stated that he has not made a decision yet, so he's obviously taken his time to think on this.
The thing is, in the last few seasons, not just the last season, in the last few seasons, he has been constantly linked with Zidane and with Real Madrid.
Ah, okay.
So do you think that he could move to Madrid or some other club and leave Chelsea because obviously they are not, I mean, they don't look that they're going to finish in the top 4? With Champions League out of action, is he going to stay at Chelsea? That's a big question.
I'm going to be honest. I think he is going to stay at Chelsea, and the only reason I think this is because he's still, now obviously I could be 100% wrong. This is my opinion, but I think he's still got about a year left on his contract before his trade in. I don't see any. I don't know. Do they buy out contracts?
They do.
They do. So I don't see anyone buying out his contract here for this summer or this upcoming trade. I think he's going to stay at Chelsea. What about you?
I say he's going to move to Real Madrid.
You do?
Because as I said before, Real Madrid, to fill Ronaldo's shoes, have to sign at least more than one player. Kylian Mbappe is a great pick, but Mbappe alone is not going to work.
No.
He's not going to provide 50 goals. To get those 50 goals, the point is to recruit multiple guys who can cumulatively add those 50 goals. So Mbappe, Hazard, and even some other player, they all 3 of them could contribute those 50 goals, which Real Madrid desperately needs.
I mean, he's still got money on it. He's still got time on his contract, so he's got plenty of time to think this over.
And he's a young player, so
he
can stay at Chelsea for a year or two and then move to Madrid.
Yeah.
But I believe that now it's the best time with Ronaldo gone, with Madrid looking for potentially great players.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to look at this next trade-in, because he's still got the year. I think he's going to look at this trade-in, and if Real Madrid gets rid of Bale and gets Mbappe, and you mentioned them Neymar potentially going to Real Madrid. If those 2 go there, I think he will go to Real Madrid. Because with those 3 players, Real Madrid, that could be the substitution for Ronaldo that they are looking for.
So you're saying that once Real Madrid gets a full squad with great players, then he's going to join them?
Yeah, I think. But right now, I think he's going to stay there for, as you said, another year, maybe 2, and see what happens.
Cool.
As most players
that makes sense.
Yeah. Should James Rodriguez join forces with Ronaldo? Do you expect a big money splash on the 2014 World Cup hero?
James Rodriguez is a great potential, and we saw what he can do in the 2014 World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, right now he's playing at Bayern Munich, which is an aging squad. He is getting a lot of chances, but the squad is depleting.
Yeah.
They are going to get rid of Robin and Ribery. So the squad is not as great as it was before.
Yeah.
Now he has two options. Either he can return back to Real Madrid or he can join Juventus. And he can come under the wings of Ronaldo. He has played with Ronaldo. They share the same manager. So, I mean, they personally know each other. They have that great chemistry, which we talked about when we were talking about international soccer games. So that is one of the points I'd like to make, that yes, reuniting with Ronaldo is, I wouldn't be saying imminent, but it's more likely as compared to getting back to Real Madrid, who is not a great squad as of this moment.
At the moment, correct. I'm going to agree with you. I think with the push that Ronaldo can make with that organization, I think that he will push them to get Rodriguez, and that chemistry, that former team reunion. Thank you. I cannot speak today. That former team reunion may help out Juventus with the Champions League, since if Ronaldo ever gets hurt again, that way they've got a guy who's played with Ronaldo, knows him. They've got another guy who can strike for them, and hopefully next season they could be undefeated.
A pillar of support. That's right.
Yeah, be undefeated in Serie A.
Well, that's what we have for this week's edition of MCTV Sports 101. Join us next week for more stories in sports. I'm Aditya Sahasrabudhe.
And I'm Austin Seat. We'll see you next time. 3-pointer. Woo! Header.
Oh, yeah! See you next week.